Hello and welcome to the next in our exciting series of Appear podcasts. This is our NAB review. NAB's a few days ago now, but we wanted to have a good conversation about what's been happening. And I'm actually in my summer house because I'm still trying to pretend it's as warm as it was in Vegas, slightly unsuccessfully. I am joined by a new guest to the podcast, Mr. Chris Parker. Chris, tell us where you are, what you do, and kind of what temperature is it where you are? And also, before I forget, your favorite ice cream.
Well, Andy, thank you for having me. I'm based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Norwegian home away from home here in the United States. So it's quite appropriate that we're working for a Norwegian company. Currently, it's about 50 degrees and raining here in Minneapolis, so typical very early spring weather. And my favorite ice cream is cookies and cream, which has a bit of controversy surrounding it as to who invented it. And I would like to think that it's my alma mater, South Dakota State University.
Wow. Okay. So ice cream with a personal story. I like that. That's very good. That's very good. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. And we said we're going to, as I said, we're going to talk through a bit about what was good about NAB for us, what we observed while we were there, etc., etc. But before we dive into those bits, I'd just like to just give one or two highlights for me in terms of the engagement I managed to have with people on the various panel sessions, because I'm pretty sure those recordings are going to be coming up in different places by the different organizations that were recording them. So I did a great session on sustainability. It was a privilege to be part of Barbara Lange's MTSS event. I did one on cybersecurity. Did one about using public internet for live media production. Did one on media processing on compute. It was spoke at the IBM breakfast session. I did a fun session with Andy Beale and Thomas Edwards on latency and delay in media production. And we're actually going to do a podcast special on that coming up in a few weeks. So listen out for that. And finally had two great customers from FanDuel and Sinclair that actually joined me for another panel session. So that was great, a whole lot of different content. So if you get a chance, do check that out because that was lots of fun. So anyway, back on to NAB for Appear, Chris. And first of all, give me a high-level view of how NAB was from your perspective as a US Appearian.
Yeah, Andy, I would say that NAB was fantastic from our perspective. I've heard overall that the attendance was down, but I would say that the quality of the meetings that we had on the Appear booth was up. We had more customers, more sports leagues, more sports broadcasters, more valued partners, and just more overall quality of attendees on the Appear booth. It was a very busy 4 days. Felt like it flew by. And I feel like I'm not fully recovered just yet, even 2 weeks down the road. But yeah, overall, it was a great show. A lot of fantastic conversations that took place.
Yeah, there was definitely a great buzz about the stand, and although I probably spent half the show or more than that maybe away from the stand talking and doing other things, it was great actually having some interaction with some great people that came to the stand. So that was cool. So in the conversations that you were having with people on the stand, are there any kind of key takeaways that you had for what customers are looking for at the moment?
Yeah, so I would say that overall, customers are looking for a vendor who's willing to partner with them. They're not interested in somebody to purely sell them boxes and move on down the road. They're looking for somebody who's willing to listen to their needs. They need to do more with less in some cases, and so they're looking for a partner that's willing to engage with them on that front. I would also say that the REMI trend is still in full swing. So customers are looking for a box that they can provide as many feeds back from site as possible to get the best possible production. And the X platform is ideally suited for that. So we had a number of great conversations around Remy.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. And I think I was very tickled by a piece of marketing which was customer driven. We had our US customer council about 4 weeks before NAB in Miami, and we had a fun brainstorm session with the customers were there, asking them to kind of come up with some slogans for us. And tell us about the Ian from NBC Sports, I think, came up with a tagline that I think you thought was lots of fun.
Yes. What are you going to do with all of your empty rack space? I personally thought the building of a wine rack would be very suitable, as I enjoy a good glass of wine every now and again. The Norwegian sauna was an excellent idea. I've seen a number of jokes about cooling. But yes, overall, that was a great tagline coming out of Miami, and certainly an excellent introduction into NAB.
Yeah, so if you happen to be listening to this, Ian, thanks for that. We really appreciate that fun. And any other ideas you've got, or indeed anybody else has got, do send them in, because it's great to actually have those great ideas coming in of fun ways of promoting what we do. So let's just jump into, Chris, some of the highlights of what we were actually specifically showing at the show. Some of the stuff that was new or improved, if you like. Do you want to talk us through some bits that you think were good from our perspective that we were showing?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it would start with the control piece. Certainly, we announced at the show an expanded partnership with Skyline, and we were demonstrating data miner control of the X on the booth. So that was very well received. Continued expansion of our Prometheus capabilities was certainly very popular. Obviously, trending and fault analysis continues to be a critical item for customers. And so our expanded and continue to expand capabilities with Prometheus that comes with the X platform has been great.
So I tell you what, let's just pause there for 1 second. I think we've probably got within the listeners, we've probably got a couple of different camps, as I think we probably have with our customers from the engagement I've had. We've got those that say, "Oh wow, yeah, Prometheus, I'm using that a lot already," and the others that say, "What?" so can you do us like a 1 minute explainer for the customers that say what, just to highlight what Prometheus actually enables?
Absolutely, yeah. So Prometheus is basically a time-aware database, and with using front end with something like Grafana, you can use Prometheus to pull metrics from our X platform, everything from chassis temperature to fan speed, from SRT metrics to transport stream over IP metrics. And at the show we debuted some of our encoder metrics as far as SDI lock, etc. And so what it allows you to do is build, kind of a nice graph in Grafana, or a nice set of graphs in Grafana, to really do some fault and trend analysis over time. And as well, you can pull thumbnails from our chassis, so you can get closer to kind of a one pane of monitoring glass for a really deep look into all pieces of the chassis.
Yeah, I think one of the really good things about this for me, I've been talking it many times recently about, the industry is moving to an IT centric place in terms of the way we do tech. And this is a great example of us specifically, but other people in the media industry as well, picking up on some of these generic, highly available, highly understood IT tools, and actually start to use them for these media applications. So we're not reinventing the wheel. We're actually riding on the wave of other innovation that's happened in IT. And it certainly is something that actually gives really great results in terms of demonstrating and helping customers to have visibility and measurability of what's happening, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. It really gives you, a window into all pieces of your network, not just the X platform. You can look at, switch data. You can look at AWS CloudWatch metrics, etc. So it really gives you a chance to look at all pieces of the chain rather than just one.
Yeah, yeah. So we also launched a 100 gig interface for the first time. From the engagement I saw on that, that was actually a really positive thing. Just the fact that having that size of interface means we can aggregate so much more into a single interface on the chassis. That was really positive. And we've expanded some capacity as well, haven't we, in some of the processing? Do you want to just outline that?
We had the soft launch. It'll be available this summer, but it's an expansion of our SDI JPEG XS module, and the capacity will expand from 4 to 8, which will provide a nice density boost, and definitely in concert with the 100 gig module will allow you to do very high density JPEG XS
Yeah.
contribution workflows.
As if we weren't dense enough already, hey? That's suddenly we've doubled it again. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And yeah, in terms of just going back to one of the other key capabilities that again was getting a lot of traction at the show, which is our ARQ or SRT accelerated technology. We actually won an award. Tell us about that.
We did. The NAB Product of the Year award was something that we won for the SRT module. We actually launched it at NAB last year, and we've had a tremendous amount of uptake from our customers. 6 gigs of SRT traffic in one module packs quite a bit of punch, and further contributes to the density we've been talking about.
And just as an explainer, again, for those that aren't fully familiar, just explain very basically what SRT enables us to do.
Yeah. So basically, over lossy networks, or as a backup method, it basically provides a method for retransmission, and guaranteeing that your packets arrive, allowing for multiple attempts to make sure that your content arrives.
Yep. And I think that's even more important, as I was talking about in one of the presentations at the show. It's even more important as we see this increasing trend of moving to less deterministic public internet connectivity rather than people using lease lines for everything. Although interestingly, there are quite a few people that are actually using the ARQ technology on private lines as well as on public internet connectivity, which is an interesting trend. Very good, very good. So the lots and lots of exciting stuff. I guess you've been busy with customer follow up from the engagement we've had. Any other observations on passions or trends or things that you that have highlighted since the show, that in terms of the engagement you've had with people?
No, I would say that really, definitely everyone is in preparation mode. There's a large number of very large sporting events this summer, and so I think a number of our customers are definitely in prep mode to make sure that those events go off without a hitch. So,
yeah, very exciting. Yeah, I know we have got kit supporting, I think, pretty well all of the main summer events. And in fact, what we're planning to do, again, just a teaser for a summer podcast that's going to be coming up in 2 or 3 months' time, is we're going to be looking at the summer of sport from the perspective of being one of the key providers of technology into, I think, all of those main sporting events that's happening over the summer. So that's coming up. But also talking about coming up, 2 other things. First of all, for those that are listening to this podcast relatively soon after it's initially come out, we're recording early May. On the 15th of May, I'm speaking at MPTS in London. So do come and say hi, check out that if you're around in the afternoon at that event. And then also to say, it's only 4 months away from IBC now. So we're already thinking and planning about heading for Amsterdam in September for the next big trade show. And obviously there are other trade shows that we're going to be involved in between now and then as well, that some of our colleagues are going to. So do look out for that, and do watch out for more exciting podcasts coming on. We've got a few external guests that we're going to be having on, which is going to be really great. So you'll see them advertised via the usual routes. And if you haven't already subscribed to this podcast series, do please go and do that now. Chris, thank you very much for spending a few minutes with us today. It's great to have a review. Have you got any of that ice cream ready to go and have now? I guess it's not really time for ice cream yet.
No, it's not quite time for ice cream, Andy, but maybe later this afternoon I'll indulge in a bit of cookies and cream.
Excellent. Hey, Chris, thank you for your time, and everyone, thanks for listening and joining with us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next Appear podcast. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.